Being overcome by rockabilly is in some ways kind of like being taken over by an untreated cancer. Now I know that sounds really, really bad and horrible, so let me explain. When I first started into the rockabilly life, when I was a wee small lad back at the end of the 70s, I had a bad mullet haircut and a polyester shirt, and I didn't know which end was up as far as, you know, who's Gene Vincent and who's Eddie Cochran and la-di-da-di-da. Well, slowly but surely I began to sort out that music in my head. And as the songs became more and more important to me, as Billy Lee Riley got added to my playlist, as I started listening to Mac Curtis records, I started noticing the little artifacts, the little leftovers from the world of the 1950s, the little design thingies. And you know, it started out small. I think I was in a junk store and I found this cup with a little mid-50s squiggle on it. I said, gosh, that's awfully cool. And well, nowadays it sits here in my bathroom and it holds my creepy toothbrushes. After banishing the mullet from my head, I started banishing the polyester from my wardrobe. Started simply just wearing 60s sharkskin suits from the, like I said, from the 1960s, or finding just plain black suits from the 50s. Well, somewhere along the way, I got a load of a picture of Joe Strummer of The Clash wearing the most spectacular black sport coat with pink slubs all over it. And son of a gun, I found one in a vintage store where I was going to school, and this was a million years ago. Well, I traded the lady one of my favorite suits and a little bit of money on top of it, but now I had the most spectacular sport coat. The collections and the things were getting larger and larger. Of course, now I figured out I had to make the ultimate move, which was I had to get a Finmobile. So on the advice of a couple of my drunken hillbilly friends, we jumped into the car, drove up to Wisconsin. I talked the guy down from $800 to $500 and bought me a fabulous 1956 four-door Oldsmobile Rocket 88, which subsequently turned out to be a piece of crap. But at least I had my first Finmobile. Obviously, there came a point in our marriage where my wife and I looked at each other and we said, you know, we can't continue to live in apartments. We're just throwing money out the window. So, and I will admit, my wife did the bulk of the house hunting. We looked high and we looked low. And after 11 months of searching this city far and wide, we ended up with an absolute kick-ass Art Deco house built in 1937. You want to go vintage, you got to go big, brother. You got to get yourself a vintage house. Now, admittedly, when I first started house hunting, I assumed that I was going to buy a nifty 50s Jetson-style mid-century ranch. Well, when this baby dropped in our lap, there was no question about it. We had to go back into time, all the way back to the Art Deco period of the 30s, and we are just happy as clams. Oh yeah, and to top things off, you know, she and I had spent years and decades buying 50s lamps and 50s couches and blonde wood coffee tables and boomerang curtains for the house. And well, now we had to throw all that stuff out and go buy a bunch of kick-ass chrome and Art Deco and streamline stuff. Damn it, we just hate to go shopping. Ugh. Over and over again, as a young and upstanding rockabilly, you try to tell people, yeah, I know that when we go to these events that people are all dressed up and they're wearing clothes from the 40s and the 50s, but it's not about the clothing, it's about the music, it's about the friendships, it's about the camaraderie. Well, you know, I'll be honest with you, I've been playing that old song and dance for years and years, and you know what? Deep down in my heart of hearts, I realized that, well, it kind of is about the clothing because, you know, first you get a jacket and then you get a shirt and then you get a pair of two-tone shoes and then you're wearing sky blue gabardine and then you're wearing a plaid gabardine jacket and you look like Bill Haley in the Comets, and next thing you know you're putting on the hard finished denim shirt, and then you're putting on you've got some crazy ass jacket with slubs all over it, and then next thing you know you got a pair of cowboy boots, and Oh yeah. Then one day you get lucky and you find the shirt that ruled the world. But trust me, rockabilly is all about friendship and good times and the music and having fun, and it's not about the clothing. No, it's not about the clothing.
Well, I like to think about you when I'm drinking.